Hello, thanks for clicking on another one of my videos. In today's video, I'm going to be making the grooves that go the full thickness through those two identical 45-degree mitered pieces that will make up the top of the vent apparatus. And then from there, I'm going to move on towards making the Kumiko itself that's going to go in the vent. And what I'm going to do for that is make some jigs that will allow me to standardize the pieces that I'm making and allow me to properly make some accurate and beautiful looking Kumiko. We're cutting grooves. We are getting very close. Very, very close. I'm not fully sure what the best way to support this for the final pass is, because once that last little section of wood's taken out, this is going to be flexy, and I don't want it to bend in and bite on the router bit and just gouge out the inside of this. So I need to think about that before I make the last pass. All right, that was kind of nerve-wracking, but look at that. It is done. The first of the two vent holes is cut. So now, on to the next one. You can see what we're going for here. That's where the vent is, and then there's going to be another groove right here that's going to match one that goes vertically up the sides here to accept the glass. I have cut some sticks out of softwood to start making the Kumiko. I'm tired of working on these vent pieces and they're pretty much done now. So I'm moving on before I get fed up with that. I'll come back to them later, but right now I'm pretty excited to start with this Kumiko. Things have occurred. It's a new day. I had to stop working on the Kumiko. That was like 2 days ago. So we're back. One thing that's been plaguing me in this workshop is the light switch is behind all that junk. So when I come in through this door, I actually have to go all the way around to the other side of the shed and then turn the light on. And then when I leave, I have to turn it all. It's not that big of a deal. However, it is annoying. I am going to attach some strings to the ceiling and the wall so that I can turn the light off from this side of the shed. Kumiko is delayed right now for the light switch project. All right, the string goes from there to there to there to there to the light switch that you can't see behind the mini pool table. So now we get to see if it works. Wonderful. So this is where we're at in the project right now. I've got the 4 posts. I've got the walls in the back. We haven't made the roof yet. We haven't made the full vent apparatus here, but this is what we're doing right now with this Kumiko. It is going right here in the vents. In this small gap underneath this and above the floor here, that is where the Kumiko goes, because we're gonna have an opening down there and I don't want it to be a bare opening. It should add a lot of cool, just decorative interest in the bottom of the terrarium. I have not actually explained what this Kumiko is that I'm making. It is a traditional Japanese ornamental joinery technique using these little strips of wood. It's basically a lattice work of different little strips, and they're all cut to have these kind of half cutouts like this. So each piece will have these little cutouts and they fit together like that. So, boom. So what they use these for is making these really, really pretty decorative lattice works. And there's a bunch of different kinds. One of the most popular kinds of Kumiko is called Asa no Ha, and I'm probably butchering pronunciations. Just Asa no Ha. That's one of the most popular ones. My marker is running out of ink. Much better. Asa no Ha is one of the most popular kinds. If you look up Kumiko, you're probably gonna see it. And what it is made up of these hexagons, and what it looks like is kind of a series of triangles that are all connected like this. And I think this is a really cool pattern. I like it a lot. However, hexagons don't really fit well in a square vent. Asa no Ha is based on hexagons. What we're doing is something called Kakuasa. This one is based off of squares. So we have a cross piece going this way, and then in each one of these triangles that we've now created, we have like a stretched out version of the Asa no Ha pattern. This is cool. However, we're going to be dealing with pretty much to scale this amount of space, like from here to here. And while it would look cool to have the whole thing in there, I think that's pretty darn impractical because I've got to cut angles on these pieces down to a 1/2 degree to make this work. So what I'm doing is half Kakuasa. I'm going to have a grid like this. And instead of having those 2 extra squares down here, I'm not going to have those. This is going to be repeating across the vent. A little gap there, just for symmetry. And then from here, we're doing that same triangular pattern so that we get that kind of stretched out asanoha, but it's in squares and it is half. What I need are jigs that I can fit these tiny little pieces of wood in so I can cut 45-degree angles, 67.5-degree angles, and 22.5-degree angles. I've seen pictures of these. I know what they're supposed to look like. However, I don't know the order of operations to make these. I don't know how I'm supposed to start. So like every single thing that I've done so far with this project, I am just gonna figure it out. I really don't trust the angle on my table saw. I might trust the angle on my circular saw a little more. So I'm gonna cut with the circular saw, consistent angles, stack the plywood, glue, screw, laminated plywood. And then once that is secure, I'll be able to run it through the router with a bit the same width as these little strips so that I have a slot to accept this piece in and hold it steady while I'm running across that angled face. And that, I believe, that's gonna be the way I'm going to make these jigs. Oh, what? I just didn't go all the way through. Didn't go all the way. It needs to go ever so slightly deeper. No more little edge. And we're still barely cutting into the foam. So my tabletop is safe. Our cut is good. So now we got to cut it this way. And then this will get glued, screwed through the router table, and then we are good to go. The 45-degree jig is done. Sanded smooth, ever so slightly rounded on the corners. Yeah, cool. And I've got this little stop block that can be tightened down with this screw. So yeah, and I've checked it, it's perfectly 45. So this should be all I need to make those 45-degree cuts on the Kumiko strips. Now on to the 22.5 and 67.5. One of my favorite things so far that's happened throughout this little time I've spent woodworking, so I don't know, for the past few months, is the amount of improvement or just, I don't know, ease of creation. I've noticed, like, these Kumiko jigs are very easy to make. Like, this has been super clear to me and very, very easy, no hiccups. Like, everything has gone well and perfectly on the first try with these. And the crazy thing is, when I was first coming up with the plans for this terrarium, and I knew I was going to need to use the Kumiko for the vent piece because I liked the way it looked, like, not too long ago, I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy those jigs that look so hard to make. And like now, oh my goodness, like I cannot imagine buying these. Like, so I don't know, it's been super cool to see just my ability improve. And it's not like a ton, I'm no master or anything at all by any means, but it's just cool to see. It's cool to see. I think you can learn a ton from YouTube, and as I've been saying, that's where I learn most things these days. But the amount of just doing that I've been doing out here has just given me enough of a repertoire that it's just, oh yeah, do this. So I came into this talking to Big Came about how hard it was going to be, and I thought it was going to be hard, and I had no idea where to start, but it turns out It was just easy. And I get it's just angles stacked on wood, but it feels cool to me. All right, this is the weird one. So I've got one side of it done, but I still need that shallow angle. I believe, yeah, it was the 22 and a half. Yeah, like this. So that is next. I still think if I trim it flat this way and then cut along the top with supports on each side, it shouldn't be too much of a trouble. All right, this is what I've come up with. This piece screwed into this board right here, and then this is screwed into the actual piece I'm working on here from the bottom where it's going to be covered by plywood so it won't be seen. And then I'm just going to run the circular saw over this way and we should be good to go. I'm running out of time for what I'm doing right now, but all that correct angles are cut. That one's fully done. This one will be fully done as soon as I get another 20 minutes to work on it. But I have to go. I have to leave the shed right now. Maybe I'll get some work in when I get back. But for now, looking good, looking functional.